you're doing right now can translate over there, and you'll actually have, examples of what to do. You will like fit right in.
Okay, I'm gonna try.
Yeah. I mean, all you gotta do is whatever on that trending page, and then
Yep.
do your own thing as well,
Mm.
and I mean, like for real, it'll pick up real quick.
Do they have boys' thighs? I'm playing. Boy thighs.
Oh,
Because
this is
them
giving me
thighs.
history.
Let's do that one. Here, there, in.
All right, we are up.
I mean, all you gotta do is whatever on that trending.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play our music.
Why was I looking at Keela just a second ago thinking about City Girl song? What's the song?
City girls make a wish like Ray J. Let me talk to him. All these niggas want to fuck JT. It's on today. It's on today.
Hey.
What y'all messy people doing?
All right, we are set. Ready, set, go.
Share, man. Share.
Man, this is the one time that every damn thing decided to not work. Technology in my house. I'm still trying to do the watch party, but it's all right. Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your girl Dizzy, and I'm here with another episode of What You Got to Say. So, crazy co-host in the building. What's up, Tyrone Greggory?
Hey, what's up? Let's get it, gang, gang.
And what's up, Mr. Cabana Blaq?
Hey guys, I'm that dude.
You're that.
That boy.
Y'all are silly. I can't with y'all. What's up, Miss Cool Candice?
What's up, y'all? Look, it is time to chop it up. I swear.
Yes. And last but certainly not least, what's up, Donna from accounting?
Why, hello. How are you all doing? Welcome to the dungeon.
Donna, it's so good to see
Nice to meet you.
No. What's up, Donna from accounting?
I'm an accountant.
I'm an accountant. I'm an
Nice
accountant.
to meet you.
You run me those numbers from last fiscal year, pronto, please.
0.
$17.
$17.
Yeah.
2026 0. You are in the hole.
Exactly. Why can't are you guys able to verify that we're live?
Yeah.
But I can't share.
Since you said you
Y'all have an issue sharing the video?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Hold on, Donna.
bum, 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 ba-da-dum, bum, bum,
All right.
ba-da-dum, bum, bum, ba-da-dum,
I'm going to share it directly to the page. That's really
Yeah, we drove 18 hours yesterday. That was crazy.
Ooh.
Had the longest stop in Stockton. Like, what was popping in Stockton on Saturday night? I don't know, but the city was packed. There was like 75 people in the Chick-fil-A line.
dang.
I have never seen Chick-fil-A have two side-by-side lines, like 5 people outside, taking order. It was bananas in
Oh,
Stockton.
it's like that here all the time.
Really, that is. I said Chick-fil-A is not that good. Stop it.
Here
Hey,
you
them
go,
jokers be out there.
attacking Jesus's chicken sandwich. You do that all the time.
Listen. Don't put that on Jesus.
Parker
Don't put Chick-fil-A on Jesus.
They be out
Jesus
there.
loves gay people. Chick-fil-A don't.
Walkie-talkies. They got everything out here. They
Wow.
hit the Chick-fil-A
The
character.
man said he locked up.
I'm just saying, don't put Jesus on Chick-fil-A because Jesus loves gay people. Chick-fil-A don't.
Oh, Shanda yo. Ooh.
And there you go. And there you go.
I just
Scene.
Hey, my name is Donna. I'm an
That
accountant.
was an egg roll in my soup.
What? What? Why? Why is this happening? All right.
You can't share.
This is what we about to do. I'm gonna go ahead and get started because technology is not allowing me to be great right now, but I'm gonna let y'all get started. Let us get started. So, locked up abroad. So basically, we talk a lot here on this show about several different things, several different experiences, and all of that stuff that we go through. And we realize that we all really have like this deep, deep compassion and empathy and thoughts really about what it is doing if you do something illegal, and if you end up going to jail, and if you don't have the resources to be able to get out. And I mean, just all types of crazy things that you basically see on television that you're like, man, that would never happen, until it really does happen to one of us. So one of our What You Got to Say crew had a unfortunate experience of being locked up abroad. And so today is the day that we want them to be able to tell their story, explain what happened. We are open for questions and etc. We're going to be asking hella questions because the situation is crazy. I highly suggest from the jump, if you are an author or whatever the case may be, pay attention to the story you're about to hear, because I am telling you, this story, Lifetime ain't got shit on this story that y'all about to hear today. So authors, film producers, whatever, this is a story that y'all got to jump on, but you got to pay my goddamn girl. So without further ado, we're gonna allow the locked up abroad broad to tell us the story. Go ahead, homie.
First of all, Lance, get out my business, okay? Get out my business.
Why
Right.
does he know that though?
Why y'all know it's me? I know, because I really do go so hard for like people who be doing illegal shit, you know? So be like, just understand that it was a very, very traumatic experience for me. So I'm a little nervous with telling it. And as you can see, my wig is too.
It's all right.
You know what I'm saying? My wig is too. I'm about to put my glasses. You know, let me fix this.
Come on, do it, honey.
This can go. That's how y'all do it right there. That's how y'all do it. All right. So yes, I got locked up abroad. On a trip to Thailand, my husband and I, you know, we were swimming in the pool at the, let me first start off like this. This is all over a $65 fine. Let me be upset first. You know what I'm saying? Before I have to be traumatized. This is all over a $65 fine. All right. So hanging out in
Let me throw that at you with nickels.
Exactly. So chilling at the pool, meet this couple. They tell us about this little Rasta place that's right up the street. Now, I don't know anybody who's been to Thailand, but Thailand has been, you know, just a place where you go have fun. They got lots of things going on. The main thing they have going on, which I don't go there for, but a lot of people, men, go there for this. There's a lot of like sex work going on out there. Some of it illegal. Okay, so let's start off by that. They also know that about themselves, but that's not why we were going there. So tell us about this Rasta place. We go up to the place. It's about 3-minute walk, just a 3-minute walk from our hotel. Walk up there, we're in there, you know, ask for a joint, a half and half. So mind you, this is mixed with tobacco. Get our joint, we're chilling, having some beers, you know, talking to another couple that was in there, they're smoking. I try to light it, it doesn't light. It, you know, something's wrong with it. So I was like, I'll just wait until we get to the house, get back to the room. Put it in my bag, you know what I mean? We have another beer and then we leave. As soon as we walk out, we're walking down the street and we're walking on the opposite side of the hotel room. Once we get to the driveway of our hotel, we run across the street. At the same time, a police motorcycle is coming with 2 cops on the car or on the motorcycle. Turn around right as we are entering the parking lot. Let me see your bag. Give me your bag. Give me your bag. I was like, oh, what is happening right now? Open up the bag. I already knew what it was. They go, you know what I mean? Look at my wallet. They find the joint. Now the joint is about this long, but it probably has this much weed in it. If anything at all, you know what I mean? If anything at all, it probably has that much weed in it. I get arrested. This is on the second day of our trip. We were only supposed to be there for 2 weeks. Okay. So I get, they put me in handcuffs. I'm nervous as shit. My husband, Ghost, is there. He doesn't know what to do. They're not really speaking English. There's not anybody in the hotel who's helping us or anything. So I go to jail. We get there. I'm like, no, I need to talk to, who are those people called? An ambassador, a diplomat?
Right.
I need to talk to America, is what I was saying.
Somebody, embassy.
Yes. Somebody at the embassy, somebody who speaks English, because there are about 5 Thai police officers. None of them spoke English. And they were just like piece by piece telling me what was going on. I'm in handcuffs this whole time. I'm like, no, they are trying to get me to go back in the cell. And I'm like, no, I'm not going. You know what I mean? That's not what we're doing. Sebastian is saying, no, that's not what she's doing. They try to get me to sign a piece of paper that admits to something. I have no idea because it's in time. I was like, yeah, no, this isn't happening. End up talking to an ambassador. And an hour and a half later, I realized that, okay, like, I'm not getting out of this. I've done everything I thought.
Right.
So they have to take me back to the cell at this point. Sebastian has to go back to our hotel so that he can get my passport and find somebody that can fucking get me out of fucking prison. So this is now, mind you, I'm wearing a tank top and booty shorts. They walk me in the back, and there's about 4 cells. It's dirty. There's a man in one cell. They take me to the back corner near another door, take me to that back corner cell and put me in there and then just bounce. So I'm like, no, like not a chair, not a bench, nothing. It's floor, a toilet area, the occupants of that toilet area, some roaches. There were a grasshopper or a lizard or something. And then I'm standing up, pacing, wondering, like, this is my worst fucking nightmare. Fast forward about 3 hours, Sebastian comes back. He has the hotel manager there. They bring me back out. We're talking to them. They're taking my statement of what happened and everything. Mm. About 2 hours later, I'm going back in the cell. Sebastian is leaving. They say I have to stay here overnight and then go to court in the morning and figure it out then. And then I'll either be going to prison or I will be going, leaving. The worst night of my life. I don't even know how long I stood up. I tried to sit down. Then I tried to find, ways to sleep. How do you sleep on the floor? Oh, like concrete floor, right. Dirty. They're like nothing but men.
By yourself, or did you have other people?
By myself.
Yeah. Okay.
Nothing but men there. Nobody speaks English. I had a water and I had some food or whatever. But so this was all night. You know what I mean? Somebody came back there. I was like, yep, it's that time. Something about to happen to me. You know what I mean? This is it. But nobody said a word to me. I ended up falling asleep for maybe 2 hours, I can only assume, because then they were coming, getting me up. Sebastian was there. He brought me some more clothes. Then I was off to the court. Get to the court, like that whole part was really like what you see in Law and Order SVU, right? Where they take you to the holding cell and there's just a bunch of crazy ass people there who seem like that's their house.
Right, right.
I was like, why do y'all seem so comfortable? Everybody, like the women, they're just laying on top of each other, doing each other's hair, you know what I mean? Like trying to get me to get cigarettes from the guard. They were like, hey, ask him if he has a pack. I'm like, can you leave me alone?
Right.
I just want to go home. So now I'm there from about 9 a.m. and they take the people who are in the cell. If you haven't been seen that day, they take you to prison. It is 4:30. I have not seen the judge. I have not seen Sebastian. About 4:30, this guy comes back. He's like, hey, you know what I mean? Your husband told me the whole thing, blah, blah, blah. They done paid the guards to get me out. So now that's the first sign of bribery, that this is where we're going with this whole thing.
Right.
So Sebastian paid some money so that I can get out of that holding cell and go in the back where there's a like an office where the lawyer is.
Mhm.
So now I'm sitting on the couch. I was able to use the bathroom. They had coffee, you know what I mean, snacks and all this stuff. The lawyer, he does what he has to do, like within this 30-minute time period, and ends up getting me out. Now, the thing is, I have to now wait 4 weeks for the police to do an investigation to see what the lab says about what is in that joint. And until they find that out, I can't leave. They have my passport, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm stuck in Thailand, where I was supposed to be here for 2 weeks. I am now there for about 45 days.
Wow.
Right. And the whole time it's pretty much, well, you know, if you give them, you know, $5,000, like they can expedite all this. You can like really fly home by the end of the week if you give them this money.
Oh.
Okay. No, that's not going to work for me. You know what I mean? So I sit the first week. I'm like, I'll just take my chances with the court.
Right.
We end up having somebody there who we stayed at a villa while we were there. So now I carry on with the vacation. My family come out there, you know what I mean? We're kicking it still. I have in the back of my mind, like, damn, I'm really under investigation in Thailand. But we still kicking it, infinity pool, you know what I mean? All type of shit. So the personal chef who was there, she helped me the entire time. Like she walked me through everything, talked with me, fed me, made sure we had a place to stay, you know what I mean? Took me out to the club, everything. She was really a lifesaver. And so she found out, the court was like, oh, this is no problem. You know what I mean? It's just, this is a misdemeanor, you know what I mean? Type of thing. You're not gonna be banned from Thailand. You're not gonna be deported. You're not gonna be, you know, all of these things. Like it's a very minimal thing. Now the police saying something different. You can be here for 2 years. The fine is $100,000. Like the worst of the worst. This is what the police are telling me. As they're also telling me, if you give us some money, we can expedite this. So I sit through the first week, like the court is like, yeah, the police are still doing their investigation. By the second week, I realized, okay, yeah, they just want me to, you know, have some money and do this. So
they think you're gonna crack. They think you're gonna crack under the pressure.
Yes.
Just pay to get out of there.
Yes. And so we just thought about it and we were like, we did the math where we were saying, this is the great thing about Thailand. We stayed somewhere for like $25 a day. Really nice little, you know, place. It was, so the money, I felt like what we were going to end up paying staying there and enjoying our time and paying the police, like I wasn't willing to do that. So we did it. So I stayed for 45 days. Now this is where the shit gets so fucked up. The day, so went to court, you know, they were like $65. I'm pissed off of that because I'm like, all this bullshit for $65. They were like, now you just have to get your passport from the police, but I don't recommend going there today because that was a Friday. Go there on Monday, and then because they'll lock you up for the whole weekend. Shit. See, I told y'all my hair is nervous. You know what I'm saying?
It's all right. You're doing great. You're doing great. Look, we got people that are listening. Look, Albert Brunson was like, extortion is very prominent in a lot of countries. As soon as they know you're American, Darius Brown's like, man, I missed the first part of this story, but it sounds crazy. I'm sure you're not going nowhere, Darius.
Now, why would
let me take a smoke break. Y'all ask me some questions before I get to this last part, because that's the part that's most likely gonna make me cry.
Why would they lock you up for picking up if you got cleared and you're picking up your passport? Why would they lock you up on that Friday? Like that?
I'll tell you. I didn't know why either, but I took the advice, and so Sebastian and I had like the best night. Like we bought a fifth of Hennessy. We went to this resort. We were on the beach. I was twerking. We were in the water. There was music. I had that was the first time I had what was it? Like some crab dish. Like I said, you know what? It was really like you about to go to prison, and so you got to celebrate with your people. But I didn't know I was going to prison. I thought I was flying. I thought I was about to get on a plane and fly home.
So just to allow her to get a couple of puffs to calm her nerves, let's add another piece into all of this that's going on. Thailand was only supposed to be a chill point. I think it was for your birthday.
Yes.
Birthday. All right. Her and Sebastian were supposed to be going there for her birthday, and then they were supposed to leave Thailand, meet me in Korea for the Apollo show in Korea. So,
yeah.
right. So I'm like, all right, cool. She'll be here on so-and-so date. And
July
I get this Zoom call. Yo, we need to talk. I got to talk to you about something. And I'm like, okay. So at this point, I'm sitting here listening to her tell me this damn story that she's telling y'all. And I'm like, okay, so wait a minute. Wait a minute. And trust, I was like, I just need to know, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you good? Whatever. And she was like, well, look, you know, I can't come out there because I'm not allowed to leave the country and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my God, here we go. And so she's like, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to send Ghost out there. He's going to come, hold down the fort so you can do the show, and then he's going to come back. And I was like, girl, it's okay. Don't send him. It's cool. You need him right now way more than I need him right now. But she was in business mode. After she was in business mode. I'm doing this. I'm going to send this. I got this. Look, I had wigs being sent to me. Look, American wigs from Hair by Mahogany being sent to me via carrier through Thailand. I was like, God dang. Yeah. So ended up having him with me for a few, I think it was 3 days.
3 days, yeah.
For 2 or 3 days. And then he went back to Kela. And the whole time, like every day I'm talking to her, I'm like, but are you okay? Are you okay?
Look, and I was out there learning about Grindr. The chef that I'm telling you who helped me, she came over here and she had a lucrative little business on Grindr that, you know, she had with Americans and people from all over. And she was showing me the accounts and she was showing me like pictures of these men and what she was doing with it. I'm like, oh, Thailand. Thailand, they get it in. They get it in. So I was taken care of. However, I was very, yeah, I mean, you have to do what you got to do. You got to make it to the next day, you know? And right. So he gets back, you know, now we're at the end of this, kick it for the last weekend, go there on Monday, go to the police station, think we're just going to pick it up. They were like, no, you have to go to the courthouse, to this center over here so that they're over there waiting for you. We go over there. When we get there, they were like, okay, so this is what you can do. You can pay us this money. He can come too. We're gonna get a van and we're gonna drive to Bangkok. And then once you get to Bangkok, you'll be able to buy your flight and leave that morning. It is 10,000 baht. I can't do the math right now. 15,000 baht. They were like, your lawyer's coming, you know what I mean? That we'll settle it with him or whatever. But in the meantime, come sit in this cell. So Sebastian goes, he picks up all our stuff. I'm sitting in this cell and I'm in there with a French lady who was in there for cocaine. And now that story was crazy. But so I'm in there for about 2 hours while they're settling all this. I get out whenever Sebastian gets back with the bags and stuff. And all this time they're getting the van, you know, gassing up, all this. We take the trip, you know, very comfortable trip. I was very surprised. We pretty much slept the whole way. It was about 12 hours.
You said how much baht?
Huh?
How much baht was it?
10,000.
Okay. That is $332.37.
Okay, so this is for the drive up there. And I'll be able to do all that. We get there like 5:30 in the morning. And they said that, you know, there would be hotels around for Sebastian to go chill while I have to, you know, wait before we get to do all this. We pull up, no lights, in the middle of just brick houses. Everything's, you know, kind of like towers type thing. So we have no idea where we are. And they tell Sebastian, okay, you're good, bye. She's going in here. I was going into the Bangkok detention prison. Nobody speaks English. You know what I'm saying? Like very broken English. I'm like, what is happening? So I get my phone out. I'm starting to film. I'm like, don't leave me. Don't leave me. But he has to leave, you know what I mean? At this point, nobody has put their hands on me, and I'm pushing the limit on, telling them no. But I didn't want to take it there. I didn't know how, like, when their patience was going to be up. So I finally was like, okay, I'll go with them. I guess we'll contact each other at some point.
Right.
Like, what's your phone number? Because of course I didn't have that shit in my head with all them damn German phone numbers at that time.
Mhm.
So, whatever. Go into
Y'all
the
flew over,
huh?
y'all flew to Thailand from Germany, not from
Yeah,
US.
this was like our goodbye, trip when we were leaving Germany. Yeah.
Transition.
Yeah.
Right.
Transition.
So go into the prison, like bars, everything. There's this dog barking. Nobody's there. You could tell everybody's asleep or whatever. They're shut down for the night. Walk into this little area. They have 2 cell rooms. They have everybody's luggage. They have the office, and they have these benches. They tell us to sit on these benches. There's like 12 guys and then me. So I'm like, Lord, nothing but men, police officers. They take our picture and stuff. And when I take a mugshot, like, I'm not gonna let you, I'm pissed. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I am pissed. I'm giving the stank eye. I get my little paperwork or whatever. The police officer who is making me fill out all this stuff comes to pick it up, grabs my hand, and starts rubbing my hand.
Oh Lord.
Like, and so as I'm pulling away, in my head, I'm like, yeah, all right, you got to die. Like, that's just what because I will fight you.
Right.
You're gonna have to kill me. Finish the paperwork with everything. They put me in this other cell where there's about 8 women. How can I say? What would it would be as big as like a closet, not a walk-in closet, but just like a pantry closet.
Okay.
No, like a walk-in closet. And they have about 8 women in there. Might have been a little bit bigger, but laying on the floor, look like they stay there. You know what I mean? One person really does stay there because she's like the house mom. So everybody's sleeping. I guess, like, I don't know when I found out, what I was doing, but I had to be there until the morning, and then went to the new room. In the morning, get up there. There's a new room. Now this room is really big, a large classroom type of big, like maybe 2 or 3 classrooms, but it probably had about 100 women in there behind these.
Was it dirty, the first cell you were in?
Huh?
Was it dirty like the first cell that you were in?
Yes. Just think that everything is dirty. Like, they don't have the women try to keep it as clean as possible, but it's just dirty. Like,
Right.
they do their best to keep their area clean. Now they all have imagine like sleeping bags, in rows in a rectangle, and then up against the wall, and there is no space. They are lined up body to body. Okay. Some of them have blankets, some of them have little cushions, some of them have sheets, some people have nothing. It varies, and I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but it varies how long each person has been in there, whether they know what they're in there for, whether or not they've already like went to prison and had their sentence and everything, and now they're just waiting for something to happen for them to come up and tell them what's going to happen.
Mhm.
There's a woman, an older woman, probably in her 70s or 80s, who's been in there for 10 years. She's Chinese. Like, she's more afraid of what will happen to her when she goes back to China than staying in that place.
Wow.
There is a Somalian woman who is dying dying in a corner next to the trash, next to where the women smoke, next to where they use the bathroom, and where they shower, which the shower and the bathroom is all the same thing. Where they wash their dishes, where they wash their clothes, where they like all in one area, where all 100 of these women have to like operate out of 2 bathrooms and a trough of water. like I said, everything happens in that trough of water in this area, including the woman she is like wasting away and has been in there for 8 years, only lays down and she pees in that area. She doesn't pee where the bathroom is. She just walks like, she's not even walking upright. She's like really cannot stand upright and waddling to where this area is, peeing and waddling back and going back to lay down. She eats laying down, which is nothing but sugar. She looks like she is anorexic. Her bones are see-through. I mean, and everybody just operates as if it's not even happening, like literally smoking next to her. Now, it's not like this is an open space. You know what I mean? We're still in a room.
Right.
So there is smoke. There are women like picking lice out of each other's hair. They are also having dance competitions at the back, you know what I mean? Which is actually one of my favorite parts. There were these two hearing impaired girls who was like teaching everybody how to dance and like was just really two little freaky little girls. But like in their 20s, I'm like, okay, y'all don't care that you are here. So it's like those women were living a life while being imprisoned. You know what I mean? They had really made it their normal life because they had been in there for so long. A couple of women took me under their wing. You know, they spoke English. The African women, they was like, come here. I got you. You know what I mean? Like set up right here, whatever.
My husband actually just posted and said in Cameroon, it is the same way. You can have 200 people max in a cell. Cameroon, 200 people in a cell.
Now, if I would have been Korean, I would have been in the cell next door where everybody had their own individual pallet, and there were probably like 6 people in this cell. They were in there chilling, watching TV, had the Koreans they pay for them to live like that. So America doesn't give a shit, you know, which, whatever, that's neither here nor there. So I'm in there thinking that I'm about to leave. No, I'm not leaving. It's a holiday and I won't be able to see Sebastian for 2 days. It was by sheer luck that they have a cell phone in there that they aren't supposed to have, and they're selling minutes for people to be able to call the people, you know what I mean? But the woman from, where was she from? I think she was from Cameroon. I told you, yeah. So she was from Cameroon. She was like, look, I get to use their phone for free. I will call your husband, you know what I mean? Don't even worry about it, whatever. I ended up braiding her hair though. So I felt good. We had a little bonding. So I called Sebastian, you know what I'm saying? I'm crying and shit. Like, I don't know what's happening. I'm not going to be able to see you. They're closed because it's a fucking holiday. You knew that it was a fucking holiday and you brought me up here and nobody was going to be at work. So how it went was talked to the embassy 2 days later. They said, yeah, you can buy your ticket tomorrow this would make it the 4th day, you know what I mean? And then they can fly you out. No. On that 4th day, when I went to buy my ticket, they were like, okay, well, because of the charge, you have to be here for a certain amount of time before you can leave. That made me in that place for 8 days, 7 nights.
Why didn't they just allow you to stay in Thailand at where you were comfortably instead of transporting you to Bangkok? Money.
So in the place, they have their own commissary, and these women had to buy everything that they needed, every single thing, you know. They gave them food, but yeah, right. Like, yeah, right. We're not doing that. And so the longer they keep you in there, the more money that detention prison can make.
Right.
From the air, like there are people in there because they can't afford to pay their way out. They're done. All of their sentences are done, but they haven't been able to pay for that flight, and they're just stuck. There was a woman in there charging for massages because she had been in there for 3 years saving up to get her flight out.
Damn.
Crazy.
It was by chance that we started, no, not by chance, but like we just thought it would be better if we started accumulating cash. And so because you can only take out a certain amount from the ATM, we had started a couple days before, but we were this close from me having to stay another, day. We didn't know what the price was going to be. We just happened to take out the right amount of money.
Right.
Man.
Like the craziest experience. So 8 days later, I fly out. And yeah, like worst. And it took me, what, a year to kind of recover. I went to therapy. I talked about it. I cried about it. I freaked out about it. But I was definitely in a daze for a long time.
Yeah.
So what was the full time frame that they were saying, like, oh, well, you have to be here this amount of days before you're allowed to fly home? Like, look, I done been in this country 40 by now.
Yeah.
Why do I still?
The only explanation I can, they didn't give me an explanation. They were like, that's just the rules. And it happened to be a man who spoke English who told me that. He was like, yeah, you want to do this, and this, but they're really not going to be able to be flexible on something. They're just not going to, just because you're American. I was like, really?
Did the lawyer that came to you in Thailand, did this lawyer know that you were going to have to sit in Bangkok?
Now, this is why I say it's elaborate. You know what I mean? We feel like the lawyer was in on it because, like, no, he did not tell us the truth through the process. He was Italian, but had been living in Thailand for like 6 years. He knew Thai. He was like that. That was his thing. He would help people who spoke English, and they would make some money because he had to pay people. Like I said, he paid the guard. He paid the police at the end with the detention center every step of the way. He was talking about this, this money to pay the police to get the investigation going quicker and everything. It was a lot. And so when we realized that, of course, when they said you aren't leaving on that first night, I was like, okay, he wasn't telling the truth this whole time.
It's kind of crazy because, well, first of all, I'm proud of you for the strength, and it makes more sense on who you are and your personality and your character, and why you fight for things the way you do, but why you sometimes basically don't give a whoop about certain things, because when you see things like that, it can change your perspective. I have a friend that she went overseas, and this is one of the reasons, like, outside of my trip that I went with Dizzy, usually with me, I am very paranoid going overseas. People make it a luxury, but I know that it's just really like those movies, and I hate to say it. And the same thing that you're saying, yours is really, well, it's traumatic. Like, I don't even, for me, that I'm so glad you got therapy, because it just seemed like I would still be there. But she was talking about, I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong, if y'all know what I'm talking about, but there was in Mexico or in one of those places where they were having this series of machetes, people getting their head cut off with machetes. But, the Americans would be able to go into these resort areas.
Mm-hmm.
You, to me, feel like that Will Smith movie, Enemy of the State. Like, from the time that you met the couple, I felt like the couple.
Yes.
I feel like everybody was in on it, like the
Yes.
couple and all those things, because it seems as though that's what they're preying on, is the American tourists.
Yes.
You have all these people, and like you said, jails here, they fill up the jails for money. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it just seems like y'all were targeted, but I can't say thank God that you had Sebastian. Because hearing about those women, just like, if you're there, just say you just go there to be by yourself. Because I know plenty of people that go on vacation by themselves
On a solo trip.
On a solo trip, and just imagine if you don't have anyone to remember you.
Right.
That's what got me, is that I'm so glad that you found the strength through it all, but I'm even more glad that you had Sebastian there to to, fight on the outside while you were on the inside, because that's
Yeah.
a deal. Because not to
We
make
definitely, that definitely took us to a different level, at that point. Yeah, it was really sad. The people on the inside, that was also around the time when Trump was putting kids in cages, when that whole policy thing was going on. And I'm like, oh, this is what y'all doing to these children. No.
Right.
And then there was a flyer for a daycare in that place, sponsored by America.
wow.
I said, do you even know what's going on? The embassy doesn't even know what those cells look like. I told them, I was like, you need to see it. This is inhumane, the way that everybody is in here.
Right.
And some people, this woman, one of the women, she was from Ukraine, like we talked a lot, and she had been in there for 4 months. She had a newborn and a 3-year-old, and her husband was out, and they were not telling her anything. She still did not know why she was in there. They let you out every 2 days. So you're sitting in a cell for a whole 48 hours before you can go to their little commissary place for 2 hours and like buy your toilet paper, toothpaste, water, any food, snacks, sanitary, anything.
Y'all flew over there from Germany. Did either of y'all get in trouble with your supervisors or whoever y'all were with working for in Germany by you being gone for as long as you were?
Oh, I've worked for myself for like the last 5 years, 6 years. And Sebastian, what was he doing? He was working remotely. So,
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
It's kind of even more crazy because I was watching this new show. Not new show. It's new to me because child, I'm late Netflix and all that stuff. But it was a show about people volunteering to be in prison. And I was thinking about your situation because it really showed the neglect and the corruption. Because a lot of the fights were started because the people that worked there didn't stop them. A lot of the emotional turmoil was they were putting people in cells for 48 hours instead of 24 hours. And then they had one cop in there that volunteered. And by the end of it, he was like, I don't even want to arrest people anymore. Because, and that was deep to me. He was like, I don't even arrest any people more because if that's what they're living like, I don't want to arrest them for something like this and knowing that they're going there. So it's just, hearing your story, when you said it didn't light, it was like, I feel like that whole, like, I feel like everything was like they knew, like, how do you walk out of place?
Yeah, no,
That's crazy.
Everything. And I'm like, how, when you guys are the one selling it, you sell it everywhere. Right.
But the fact that the police came straight to you after you left there and was like, give me your bag, give me your bag. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like, that got me.
I'm and like, then, how do you know? Like, what do you mean? What am I being stopped for? You just got here, right?
You can't respond to them in their language. They supposedly can't understand you, but yet they still detain you. How is
it good enough to ask for a certain dollar amount?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Because
they knew how many years I was gonna get.
Capitalism is real everywhere, people.
Everywhere.
Dwayne Smith
actually. They knew to ask you specifically. Like, did they detain anybody else that was with y'all? So they went straight.
It was just Sebastian and I, and they did not talk to Sebastian. They were just like you.
That's why that couple, like Sebastian, I mean, like KB was saying, that couple had to be in on this thing, man.
It had to be
that, or the the owner, because they were definitely around. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a big place.
Yeah.
Dwayne Smith on here just said, money currency is everything in a foreign country, and it's crazy. Dwayne, that's really funny that you said that. So when I went to Cameroon with my husband, like, he had to have like certain conversations with me before going to say, hey, when we go certain places, like if we're going to go get something or buy something or whatever, tell me what you want before we get into the store, or come and get me and bring me to what you want, or point to what you want. He told me, don't say anything, because the minute they hear that you are American, all the prices are going to go up. The prices of everything is going to increase once they realize that you are American. And like, even when we flew there and we landed there, look, I will never complain about United States airport security. I will never complain about United States airport customs. Those stupid machine, you got to put your passport in and take the picture and all customs. I will never complain about their system again, because when you are there, it is horrible. Horrible. And it's hot as shit. It's Africa hot. And you are waiting to try to get someone to look at your passport, stamp your passport so you can get through to your baggage. It was crazy because we were standing in this line like, oh my God, it's 1 million people. It's 1 million degrees outside. And my husband said he grew up in a system like that. So he already knew. He made sure he had cash. I was like, what you need all this cash for? He said, you'll see. And when we were standing for customs, he had to kind of flash money to get to the front of the line so that they could stamp our passport. He had to flash money in order for in order for us to get our baggage in a timely manner. He had to every time we needed to wait for anything or do anything in an expedient manner, you had to pay. You had to have cash. And he actually sorry, I'm plugging in my laptop because I didn't realize it wasn't plugged in. It was about to die. He said, I bet you if you would have had the cash on you right then, when those guys stopped you, you'd have paid the cash and you would have never gone through anything.
Yeah, I agree.
They would let you go right then. You pay them, you bounce. But if you don't have the money, they're gonna run you.
I wish I would have had it in the wallet that they were looking. You know what I mean? Like, we just didn't have that much cash on us at that point. But yeah, that is also what I thought about. Yeah, and the lawyers and what the lawyer said too.
Yeah,
like go to the ATM. Like, I can give you a little. I'm 100,000. I'm not giving you $5,000, but I'll give you a little bit if you.
Nah, they want what they want. Believe me, there was a little bit of negotiating going on.
Right. Look, Shell Bell said, man, I need to go smoke after this story. So look, hey, Arnice. So my homeboy Arnice Mercer is on. She just came up. She said, girl, I missed everything. Can I get a recap? Look, we're not about to make her tell the whole story again. But what we will do is, once we're finished going live, you can go back and rewatch this on our Facebook page. It's going to be uploaded to the YouTube page. But I'm telling you, Mercer, this is something you definitely want to hear. Dwayne Smith said, yes, you have to tip for everything. My wife was damn near kidnapped in Egypt at the airport because they lost her bag. They said, my Cabana knows this was the worst day ever. Albert says he got pulled over twice in one day. Same cops for nothing. One time they actually put a no parking sign down the street from where we parked just so that they could try to give us a ticket.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is crazy.
We were in Germany. Dave had just bought his car when we were over there. He bought it was a 2012 candy apple red Dodge Challenger. We were the only had that car in the Cape Town area. So while we were there, like clockwork, every time we went out, we got stopped. Every time. It didn't matter where we were going. We were going to be going out to eat, going out to the club, coming home from the club. We were going to get stopped by the Polizei every time. And with Dave already knowing, how the Polizei are, he was like, I'm not drinking when we go out. He's like, I've seen too many guys lose their career behind DUIs over here. I'm not drinking when we go out. So anyone who did ride with us whenever we went, they knew, okay, I'm gonna get home safe because I'm a Dave. I'm good. So all night, everybody's feeding Dave Red Bulls and water and Sprite. Like that's all he's drinking the whole time we're out. If we're at home and we're not going anywhere, cool, he'll have some hen or some Crown or whatever. You know, we're at the house. We're not going nowhere. But if we were going somewhere, Dave was our DD because he was like, we're going to get home safe no matter what. And if he didn't drink, I mean, if he wanted to drink when we went out, I didn't drink and we still got home safely. So on 2 separate occasions, he gets pulled over. And the first time the guy was like, you know, where are you going? Where are you going? And he's yelling from the back of the car. And Dave's like, you know, here's my hands. He sticks them out the window, whatever. He was like, you know, we're going on base. We were headed to Ramside. And so the guy starts walking up to the car. And as he's walking to the car, he drags his hand from the trunk all the way to the front door. And we're like, I mean, if you wanted to see the car, just say you wanted to see the car. I would have pulled over and let you look at it. Like, we got leather seats, you can look at them. This navigation, you can look at it. Like, it's not that serious. So the guy was like, well, I could charge you for what? I was driving under the speed limit. The speed limit going around this curve is 35 kilometers and I was doing 30. It's snow on the road. I'm not trying to speed right now. I don't need to fishtail and hit nothing. So the guy kind of went back and forth with him, but he eventually let us go. So it was another night when we had went out and they asked Dave, they was like, you know, they pulled us over and me and my homegirl, she's in the back seat and we're dying. And the guy, so when he walks up, he's like, what's so funny? You know, why are y'all laughing? Because we know David had nothing to drink. We know he had anything to drink. He's like, well, I'm going to have to give you a breathalyzer because, you know, you're too giddy. And we don't know what's wrong if y'all have been drinking or whatever. You're too giddy. And Dave's like, I'll blow it, but you're going to get this 0.00, you know, whatever you want. So the guy's still going back and forth with Dave. And he was like, well, you've been drinking. What you been drinking? He was like, I've been drinking. He was like, what you been drinking?
I've been drinking. I've been drinking.
He said, I was drinking some pussy, that's all. The dude guys that had us pulled over laughed so hard because we were already in the backseat dying. He was like, I'm gonna let you go. You have a good night. You have a good evening with your friends. And so they let us go. And so as they're walking off, they was like, I need to find that drink. I never seen pussy before. Like we died. So we knew, like I said, they were going.
Shut up.
Nope.
I've never heard of that.
So we just drank it. He even mixed this with some peach Ciroc. You'd be right. But that's all he had been drinking that day, that and some water. So it doesn't matter, you know, where we were or whatever. We were going to get pulled over regardless of where we were or what we were doing, broad daylight, nighttime, you know, going to the club, leaving the club. We were going to get pulled over no matter what. And I can tell you how many times I've seen Dave stand there and just blow 0.000. Like, dude, he hadn't had anything to drink. I know you got to do your job, but he hadn't had nothing to drink. 0.000.
Right.
You need, you want to see my license? You good? Because I can go home now. Thank you. Come.
Well,
what would you, I mean, I have to applaud your courage for that every goddamn thing that you had to encounter. And like, what would you have done differently? I guess that, yeah, what would you have done different? No, you know, yeah.
Not smoke.
No, she's never not gonna smoke.
Right,
I'm saying, like, there's nothing you can do if they had her set up.
Right.
Right. Yeah, nothing. I think about that. I've thought about that.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't that day, there was going to be a day or a night where I was going to want to smoke.
Right.
So
I guess either not smoke overseas or carry more cash on you while you're overseas.
yeah, you know what I would have done different. Right. I would have probably tried to smoke the whole thing. I would try to just like chill. It was a nice view, you know what I'm saying? We could have had a drink and really kicked it and tried a little bit more to try to light it, or even if I would have seen that it didn't light, to like give it back to them or whatever, because of, you know, it just wasn't catching because it wasn't fucking weed.
What do you believe that it wasn't weed in that?
Yeah.
Did
This
they
is why I didn't smoke it right then and there, because whatever was happening, it wasn't lighting normally.
did they tell you? So after they were telling you that it had to go to the lab and come back what it was, did they ever tell you what it was?
They said it had weed. Well, they didn't, like, everything was in Thai. So they
Right.
gave me the lab results, but who knows?
Mhm.
And but they said that it was under like a certain limit to where this was the punishment for it, $65.
So you were basically locked up, confined in some way, shape, or form for 55 days, almost 60 days.
Yes.
For a $65 fine and something you don't even know if it was weed or not. And Albert Brunson said he suggests next time eat the whole pocketbook.
Eat the whole pocketbook.
Eat the whole.
Do you understand how I wanted to, like, it went through my head. You know what I mean? Like, how am I about to?
Right, I'm about to eat this joint. It's just gonna go right on in my mouth.
I wish I would have put it down somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe that, but yeah.
So you were in there waiting to get out, and they were waiting because they had to pay to leave or whatever, pay for the flights and stuff. So how much was it for you to actually get out of there?
That was about $1,200.
Man, so it's like,
oh, I didn't even tell you guys. Hold on.
In there then, because you know what I'm saying, some people don't know what their circumstances are. So damn.
Exactly. And that was just that part. That was just buying my ticket, not including all the other money I had to spend to live there.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you the expensive of the whole thing being
and stay there. I couldn't even tell you. I have not even thought about it in those terms. I was like, yeah.
I got you.
But since it was Thailand, it wasn't what it would have been, you know, anywhere else. So I will be thankful for that part. Now, when I had to go, they had to have a officer take me in the back of this paddy wagon to the airport, right? Now it's me and another guy. He's also going to the airport. There's bars all around. So just think of, not bars, but like grates, you know what I mean? So you can see through it, but there's two benches and, you know, it looks like a paddy wagon, opens in the back like this, but you can see through and see who's in there. We get to the airport. Now my flight, I guess we get there at like 3:00 in the morning or something. I guess my flight isn't for a couple hours. So the police officer is like, you stay here. I'm gonna take him inside. Nobody's and we're right there at the front of the airport where everybody starts to unload. I get tired. I lay down, put a thing over my head. Next thing I know, I hear all this commotion. There is a van, like large, like bus full of people taking pictures of me inside in the back of this shit. What? At this point, like my clothes, I have not showered in days. Like, it was a mess. It was a mess.
God damn.
Yeah, I didn't even get into the not showering and all that piece. That was.
I would want, but it's crazy when you put in situations like that. It just makes you more appreciative, and it also makes you just realize like the fun and danger are almost the same word. You know, like I've always said, you go to places and you do stuff, and just like, you know, Dwayne said, when we went overseas and that situation happened, it was very scary because I didn't even know if they were gonna let Nakia release her. Like she went in the back and I was like, oh Lord, I didn't know. It's like all this stuff happens and you go from a daydream to a nightmare. So I always tell people, you know, overseas period is different. It's just different and they look at us differently. And where there's all this beauty and pluses, the way they handle punishment, because the way they handle correction is sometimes very severe, and it's severe because of how their culture is, because some of the places are poor looking, downtrodden, dirty. I remember when we went to, was it Paris or France? I was like, I don't want to ever come here. It's dirty.
A lot of
it's like what I thought it was is like I've been seeing all the inside pictures. You know, the buildings and the inside part of it is beautiful, but the city itself is.
Paris is dirty like New York.
It is.
Right.
But that's the I didn't know that about New York. When I went to New York, I was just like, oh, hell no.
Yeah, it's like no.
Just like New York. They
Yeah.
look the same.
They look exactly the same.
And it's like, I go there for entertainment, yes, but I know that I would never want to live in New York. You know, I would
No.
because once it's busy, it's too busy for me. But it's great for tourist attractions. But the difference when I say in New York, just to shout out New York, because I do love it, it has a beauty to it where Paris, it was like, child, if I don't get inside one of these museums or I don't see no fashion show, I'm gonna wrap myself in toilet paper and Lysol. What is going on?
Right.
Walk down these streets. You know, New York has, you know, more of an industrial warehouse. This is what it is. Walk these streets, getting, and everybody's doing their thing and they singing and blah. You know, Paris, it's not the same thing. So I definitely learned, like, with fun, there's always that amount of danger. But I'm just kind of overwhelmed by your story because it's like,
I didn't even tell you about the sex ring that was going on in there. That place was crazy.
But you know what? First of all, it's so much that happens. It just gives you a nice wake-up call. Because now you know somebody that has seen something that we only kind of view as movie X. We only say it's a movie. But when you talk to you get to say, dang, so that really is.
It really is. It really is. It really is. It was so just sad. Really.
How do you think you are now after you experienced all of that? Where do you think you are now? What do you think it changed in you? What shift in yourself do you think that experience caused?
I think it was just probably the final piece I needed for my fight against the government and its institutions and just power and control that these institutions have over the people when we are really supposed to be like telling them what to do, how we want to live, but they take advantage. Yeah. People without power. Yeah, they are not the bad people.
Gotcha.
The ones who are trying to make up the rules and stuff. Because you were saying something earlier, but it made me think about the building itself. That's its own like community. I think even the people who work there end up loving or wanting to be involved or having good relationships with the people who are behind bars. Like they're there with them every single day. You know, even the guards, they slept there. And
wow.
They were, you know, they were sexually active with these people. It would be like a bunch of girls up by the cell and the guards would be sitting there talking to them. They're laughing. Some women would get super dressed up with makeup and like outfits on. And it was interesting to watch as there is a woman dying in the corner.
Damn.
And the thing about what you're saying about the woman dying in the corner is like, it goes back to kind of me thinking of like, no matter what, people have to take care of self. And I know in jails, especially just watching these different videos and stuff like that, at the end of the day, you know, someone could be getting their head bashed in, because I was watching this one episode, and you really have to think about yourself if you want to get out. And that's the difference between being, quote, free and then being put in prison. It's like your self mechanism of survival and hustle, because I was hearing what you were saying, and, you know, thank God that you had different situations where you were allowed to have some type of bonding. But, you know, what about the ones that don't? And they just have to figure it out. They have to, you know, like, okay, I know this person is probably, because I'm sure somebody might, maybe not when you were there, but I'm sure one of those girls probably got raped.
Oh, for sure. No, that is.
I'm sure, you know, but I'm sure people are like, I may want to stop it, but then what's the next repercussion? And that's where that fear comes in too.
They are being raped because the guards are making the women pay them to have sex with them.
Wow.
So that they can be out of the cell for a certain amount of hours. Like they are using their bodies and their money. The women have to pay for that as well.
They have to, okay, wait a minute, hold up. Rewind.
Mhm.
I want to make sure I heard it right.
So you're paying the guard
For
to
sex.
have you so that you can get out of the cell?
Dang.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that, oh, well, that's even.
And mind you, you have people here in America who are like, oh, it's quarantine and you're making me stay in my house. It feels like prison. How?
Yeah, not at all.
Right. Well, you
believe
know
me,
what? All right. Go ahead.
I was just saying, believe me, if people say that, I'm like, well, how dirty is your prison? How, you know what I mean, restrictive is your prison?
Right.
How big is your prison? How many people do you share, you know what I mean, that prison with?
And that's a good point too. People need to think about that.
So Reese just said, KB, you just don't know. I always told Dizzy that there is a level of comfort that Americans have that they don't even know. People take it for granted. There are worse things that There are worse things that human beings are going through outside of here, and the treatment that they receive is sometimes inhumane.
And supported by America.
Right.
Like I said, there was an American-sponsored daycare in this place because there are children in this prison.
It's really interesting.
Yeah. My mother says, Kela, I commend you for being able to share your experience with us. God has blessed you and is still using you.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Bant says, wow, I'm really glad things worked out for you, Kela. I've experienced many situations of bribery and know people who have gone to jail when I was stationed in the Philippines. Also had a few crazy situations in Germany as well.
Yeah. This is why I was so passionate when I was like, you can be put in handcuffs and not come back. You could they can take you and then you're just, I thought I'm getting out of the van and then we're buying this ticket and then I'm going home. No. I end up there for 8 days. Like, no idea. All of a sudden I can't see my husband for 2 days, even talk to anybody, figure out what's going on.
And I think that happened too, because you were the one, I always say, the one that got away because you were smart. You know how they say, I am brave, I am smart. But really, you were smart, you were brave. You had a person that was there to irritate the situation. And when there's things that are corrupt, corruption doesn't like to be revealed. It likes to move very quietly as much as possibly. That's what sex trafficking is. That's why they pick houses in residential areas instead of bad areas. You could be in a beautifully rich area and the house right beside you will have sex trafficking. And people are like, how is that possible? Because people don't really get to know their neighbors anymore. They don't really do the, how you doing? My name is Mary. I have 3 kids. We just wanted to say hello. Oh, what do you got going on in there? You know, they don't do that inquisitive thinking and get that neighborhood watch thing going on. So I think, you know, the fact that they realize that you are not going to just sit down and that you came with something, it was like, oh, this is not the right one. But a lot of people don't have those resources. And we said it before, don't have that kind of support and don't have that. They're you know, that kind of on spot, because when you said that you asked for the embassy, I was sitting there like, well, let me remember that before I go. You know, because some people don't know. Like, you know, let me remember that. So if something like that happens, you know, you need to think on your feet. And that's another thing that I think helped you, is that you were asking the right questions to bring the right amount of uncomfortability, which is great.
What support did you even receive from the U.S. Embassy? Did you receive any type of support, any type of guidance? And did you do any type of coordination with our government once you returned?
No, not the latter part, but during it, they were just guiding us. There isn't anything they can do. They can say, hey, this is how the process is going to go. We don't have that much control, but this is how this part is going to go. So you may need to do this, this, and this, but they can't actually do anything. I met with them on the 3rd day that I was in there, and they can't even come inside of the prison. Like, they were doing it, but I guess they were talking too much, you know what I mean, about the conditions. And so they got put outside of the building. So they don't even know what's going on in there. Wow. I told them, I'm like, you guys need to get in there. And I was talking to one of the interns. I said, listen, listen, it's filthy. It is like, why is this happening?
Wow.
Why are people living up there like that? I was the only American. It was like being an American, being tall, I think stuck out. And so I do feel like I was privileged in that way, even though I think that everybody kind of tried to help everybody or get along with everybody a little bit. I did feel really taken care of. I had a dinner, what was it? Middle Eastern dinner, like grilled meats and all that stuff, because they paid a guard to go out and get some real food. And this woman just happened to share it with like three of us. I was like, am I having a picnic?
I mean, you create, I think that that's what happens in most, you know, in prison culture. They create their own culture within the prison, their own community within the prison. I mean, it's a coping mechanism. Because if you don't create some sort of bond, some sort of something, you will go crazy just trying to maintain everything yourself. So having those women from Africa come and say, hey, come sit with us, you know, you need to be right here, you know, to help you out. I think that that's amazing, because even being in inhumane circumstances, you still find a way to find the humanity in it.
Yes.
It's like it showed the different levels of being institutionalized all at one time. Like people like yourself, you had just got there. You weren't nowhere near institutionalized. You're trying to get your way out. Then you got the ladies that took you in, like, listen, we've been here. Let's just keep you safe. Then you got the lady who, like, you know, her health just took over. She's in the corner dying. And then you got these two deaf girls teaching people to dance.
Yeah.
It's living life. It's crazy.
They were teaching me how to sign, you know what I'm saying? Asking me if he's like, your husband have a big dick? I'm like, hold up, girls. What the?
Anything to get
sign language
of what they're doing.
Anything to just not be there.
Yes.
Right, because you, like you were saying, you have people there who were there for years. They ain't seen outside nothing for years. So you the new girl on the block. You the last one saw the sky. Can you tell me about the sky? Can you tell me about the trees? What's outside? What's the new car? Where your husband? How tall is it? Does it have this? Of course, all these questions are gonna come because they ain't seen nothing like that in years.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well,
Bashing came through. They had a TV in there, right? And so on the USB stick that they had, it was nothing but Thai music videos, but like kids music videos. So we were watching those, and then we were watching some, I think, Ethiopian drama, you know, soap opera type of thing. And so that was on repeat for the first couple of days. And so they were like, hey, do you think your husband can get us something in here, you know, a USB or whatever? He did. And so then we were listening to Meek Mill and watching Thor Ragnarok.
I know that they were so
they were like,
Kela brought hip hop to the Thailand.
I know that they were so excited. They was like, yes.
Hey, they was glued like the little toys on Toy Story when the claw came in. The claw.
And Thor was in that one.
Anthony asked a real good question. He said, although it was horrible experience, do you feel those women gain strength from you being the strong person that you are?
Oh, I can say that I hope that I spoke positivity and positive energy into them while I was there. I hope that they felt, you know, how I felt for them, because I was really appreciative for what they did. And I mean, I did end up I put my energy into them because I braided like 7 heads.
Right.
Get me through my last weekend. You know, I was like, okay, I got my ticket. This is when I'm leaving. This is how I'm about to set up this time. I'm about to, you know, take these sleeping pills, sleep for this amount of time. Then I'm you know, get some heads done all day on this day, and then it's gonna be time to leave.
But then you created sisterhood. They probably missed you. They probably shed tears because that's just a connection of.
One of them did, yeah. The one from Cameroon. We talked a lot.
Yeah,
we had a lot in common, and
yeah, I can see that because culturally, love is a culture too.
Mm-hmm.
When love can come into a negative neighborhood and make that neighborhood feel like life and light, it
Mm-hmm.
really becomes something someone misses. So you brought humanity to them, even in the midst of your humanity trying to be, stolen.
Yeah. And it was really, it was nice to see that no matter all of the different cultures, you had a bunch of different nationalities and ethnicities in there, the way that they got along and in harmony. I'm like, oh, it's the governments that's doing this bullshit. You know what I mean? It's them being angry at each other. The leaders, the ones in power, they are upset because the deals that they are making either works for them or doesn't work for them, or they have resources over there that they want. It's not actually the people
Right.
who are angry with each other for some stupid reason, because you have all of these women in here and nobody is fighting. Like everybody is trying to do for the next. They have an order in here. They are trying to just stay afloat, where they are not focused on, oh, well, she's Black or she's from this country and she's from this country. So that's why I hate her.
And that's the thing. When I was watching that prison, like I said, the narrative of negative was created by the officers and the police people. The most of them, even when it came down to gangs and the race, they made sure they was like, well, we know we go here, we do that. But everybody was cool. But it was like they allowed the most smallest thing to become the biggest fire, and they wouldn't stop it. And it was crazy to me. And I was like, is any of these people, being accounted for? Even though this is a TV show, it's showing you real issues. And, like I said before, we live in a world where we do have a puppeteer above our heads. And, each string is being cut. If there's 12 strings, I feel like there's now 9.
True.
You cut them and you figure out a way to get to the next string.
Right. True. So we're going to do our roundabout, because I'm sure that now Kela needs some decompression time for talking about this for an hour.
Honey, I feel heavy.
Thank you for listening.
Hey.
Thank you for letting me share.
All right. So first on our roundout, let's go with Miss Cool Candice. What you got to say?
Kela, I just wanted to say, I wanted to commend you and tell you thanks for sharing your story with us. That was definitely an experience that you did go through, and you sharing that, hopefully it helped someone or allowed them to be able to get to a point to where they feel like they can maybe go to therapy and talk to someone, or just talk to a friend to just kind of get some things off their chest. Because you hold certain things in for so long and you don't release it or you don't talk about it, it tends to build pressure. And when too much pressure is built up on the inside, what happens? It bursts.
Yeah.
So that's when people start lashing out and you're like, what's wrong? What's going on with them or whatever? So I definitely commend you for that. And thank you for sharing your story with us. That was totally an experience. And you good, because I've been ready to fight all them motherfuckers.
Listen.
No, you're doing this.
See, exactly. No, I'm not coming to you. You can't see my bag. I'm not going this way. No, we're not getting the panty wagon. No, I'm not doing that. That's my gun.
Look, I wanted to run into the bathroom.
You and him, fat ass, was on the bike. You can't put me on the bike too. All of us can't ride, but it would have been a whole ugly American situation.
They brought a car. They were like, 204, come get this bitch.
You have to stick her in the neck.
Got one.
She ain't cooperating.
Look.
Right, exactly.
But as far as everything else is concerned, y'all's favorite president has been impeached again for the most part. We're waiting on the Senate to decide or whatever they're gonna do. So we can have him, the whole Chris Brown deuces, like we're gonna throw that up. And then what's today's date? The 17th. Yes. So the 20th, we're gonna make this shit happen. We're gonna get our new VP and our new president extraordinaire in there, and hopefully they can do some good things and make, America great again, whatever.
What?
So let's get ready. We're gonna have a good time. Everybody watch day 6 because there's a lot of upset people who are mad that their president, they think the election was stolen from, didn't win. So they're mad. I don't know if there are demonstrations happening in your cities or in areas near you. But if they are, please avoid the area so that you can be safe. We want everybody to, make it through 2021, and we don't need it to end up like 2020 again. So do your due diligence, wear your mask, wash your hands, and wash your ass. Yeah.
Yes, Candice. All right, Mr. Tyrone Greggory.
First off, once again, Kela,
Yes.
thank you. For all those that travel, like to bust those passports open, pay attention to that story because it can happen that easy. It was really, really a simple situation that turned to a nightmare. And like I said, it can happen to anyone. Pay attention to, everything around you when you're out, traveling. Even stateside, you know what I mean? Because you can't put it past them to plant something on you in the States.
Hello.
So, really pay attention to everything you're doing out here. You know, just try to take care of one another out here with everything that's going on right now. Um, they're trying to push this hate narrative, and I'm just not gonna go for it. We got to push this positivity as much as positive, or as much as we can, and as much as possible. Um, and just like I said, just look after each other, man. Like Candice said, take care of yourself. Like Cabana always says, give yourself that self love, that self care, balance
Mhm.
yourself out, and hey, just be good to yourself. That's it.
Well, Mr. Cabana Blaq.
Well,
Turn it up.
3 things. The first thing is I love you for what you show on the show, and I love you for what you don't show. I think you are a phenomenally made, creative, beautiful, dynamic human being that is going to take the world by storm with this group and by yourself. I appreciate your testimony because your testimony, it brings power and it's bringing life. It's making people's emotions come alive. It's making us uncomfortable. You're created for us to be uncomfortable. And that's the most beautiful thing about you, Kela. You are meant to make people think and have fun, twerk a little bit, learn a little bit, get it a little bit. Just dislocate your shoulder a little bit. Don't
Right.
but at the end of the day, I absolutely adore you. And I think that this is the most bravest moment that I've heard thus far from you. And I'm just so appreciative to hear it. My second thing is what the rest of the family said. I must reiterate this inauguration is just a physical event. This is not for us. And when I say us, I mean everybody. I could care less. We're gonna do a show so you can see it because that's a good way for you to see it. But as far as like getting involved in the antic, it's not necessary. It's already done. Think about what your part is. Think about what your purpose is. Don't think about other ways to be in something where you cause harm to yourself. People are very upset that are ignorant and foolish, and they're making very selfish decisions and hurting people and people's lives. So I encourage people to watch our show on inauguration or find another platform to do it because at the end of the day, I do not encourage people to go there. I do not encourage people to participate. Why? We already know what it is. We get it, but we're in a pandemic. Your butt should be away anyway. I've already talked to Dizzy about this. I'm very strongly about this views. I feel like it should be virtual. But at the end of the day, we know that there's a dark thing and a light thing, and they're always trying to battle each other. So be wise and care about your family and everything else. And then the next thing is mentally. Learn how to shut up.
Mm.
I have learned something. I was in a conversation with someone in a group, and it was the most beautiful conversation because I don't go out, but I got a chance last night. And being quiet, I realized, wow, we create so many fires because we either listen to speak or not listen at all and be just rushed to say something and don't understand the conversation that's being had. We was in a conversation about mental health and everybody was kind of saying the same thing, but because we were all mature, we were able to actually come with some good resolution. And that's because everybody shut up and they listened. In 2021, why don't you just shut up and just open your ears up and listen? Did it sound offensive? It should, because sometimes when you say the word shut up, it makes me go, what you say? Exactly. That means you heard me. Because if I say, why don't you just be quiet? Sometimes we ignore the proper, nice way. And then we actually respond to the negative way.
That's true.
So this is me just saying in a good way. Shut up and listen and find out what you can add. And if you cannot add anything, shut up. And that goes for me and it goes for anybody else. Because now we're in a time where I think in 2021, where we have to be very cautious and aware of what we're saying out of our mouths. Because what we say, it can either create life or it can create wars, which leads to death. So that's what I got to say.
All right, Mr. Cabana Blaq. Miss
Thank
Kela
you for that. I
Mahogany.
felt that last part.
I know, right? Miss Kela Mahogany.
Thank you guys. Thank you, team. Like I told you before, you all were a part of that healing that I needed to go through last year in 2020. Because on top of everything else, you know what I mean? We had a pandemic, but having you all and the people who watch us to talk to every week, that has been a part of my therapy as well. I will say that I encourage anyone who is going through something, even a little bit of something. I don't care if you can't, like you just want to wake up at 7 a.m. and want to know why you can't. Go to therapy and just talk some things out. Think about it as a mental doctor. You know what I mean? Like that's important too. And I'm a big proponent for therapy. Okay.
We love you.
That experience, like I said, really showed me how this world, it just opened my eyes. Another experience of what goes on. And I think that my fight has always been for the legalization of weed. You know, I was just like, I think it is very hypocritical to have alcohol be legal and not weed. And so I've always felt like this. And I think it got even stronger after this because I'm like, the amount of things that go on, and this is what you decide to put your energy towards.
Right.
And I just, you know, going forward, I want everybody just to be good to yourselves because I wasn't during that time. And it like that just isn't, it isn't nice to not be nice to yourselves. The world is hard enough. And so I just want to push positivity like my boy Greg. I want to, you know, get behind that. Y'all know I cuss all the time, but today I just want to, you know, send some love to everybody.
You can send love and cuss. Don't be.
You say, take this.
That's all the mushy shit y'all gonna get for 2021. So eat it up.
I know that shit, motherfucker.
You can easily say
love you.
it means the same thing.
I know, right?
They're called sentence enhancers.
Oh, sentence enhancers.
That's right. All of them.
Come on,
right? Because you can speak different ways. You can speak two different ways, just like Cabana was saying, and people will receive it in two different ways as well. Like, look, I can speak like Cardi B, right? Like Michelle Obama. Either way, both times you heard what the fuck I said.
And I'm serious.
Let me upgrade you.
But you can even balance it out. You can say, I love you, or you can say, I love you, motherfucker. And I love you.
still receive that
I
love.
feel like the second one. It's so passionate.
Right.
More decent answers. See?
I really mean it.
Y'all crazy.
All right, so basically to round us out, there's some comments here that I actually want to read because I think that it's something that Kela needs to hear. Oh shoot, now you're not gonna let me scran? Okay, there you go. My hubby says to you, yes, you helped those people out a lot. You just don't know how they viewed you. Just you being from the States, you are the closest thing to Beyonce that they will ever see. They love Beyonce and she's from the States too. They probably now out there telling people, I met Beyonce's cousin. And they said they loved you because you were a fresh face, you brought in entertainment, you brought in love, positivity, and they saw that when you walked in the door. I will say, I knew about this while it was going on, and this was one of the hardest times for me to stay strong and steady for a friend. That is very difficult. That was a very difficult situation. I know it was crazy for Kela, but it was like I tried to be as strong, as funny, as whatever whenever I was on the phone with her, just to do a few minutes to take her out of that block, out of that space. And I'm not gonna lie to you, kid, there was a lot of times when you were going through this, the minute I got off the phone, I would break down. Just have to put on that cape for 20, 30 minutes and then take the cape off and be like, this is fucked up. What can we do? We need to call. I would call her. What can we do? Can we send some money? Can we send somebody? Do you know a lawyer? Can we? You know what I'm saying? Because it's horrible when someone's going through something like that and you can't help. There's nothing I can do. Usually I can do something.
Yeah.
But there was nothing.
Mm-mm.
So, but just be there and be positive and make her laugh when she ain't want to laugh.
Yeah.
You know, and just kind of, I guess I could say that's when you know your circle.
Yeah.
It was like there was times where I just knew I just needed to, even when we hooked up and saw each other after it, there were just some times where I would just sit with her and just not say nothing. She didn't need me to say shit. She just needed me to be there and know that I'm going through something right this second. Just be there. And sometimes that's all that you can do. Or sometimes that's all that you can do. I did find a simple quote, and I think to me it speaks volumes. And it says, whenever I speak to a strong woman,
come on,
I always want to ask, what demons did you have to slay?
That's deep.
And for me, that's her all day long.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, I felt that way before because we have had several talks about our lives and growing up and realizations, and Kela's one of those friends that you have conversations with where you just like, she will ask you questions and be like, God damn, now I gotta research. I don't know, is reality really real? What are we even here for? And we had like a 2-3 hour conversation about, is reality real? What is all of this for? Why are we even doing this? And I mean, I listened and I'm like, I can see where you would have this feeling, but what about this? What about this? What about this? And what about this? And what about this? You know what I mean? And of course, in her amazing Kela fashion, all that shit you just gave me won't shit. But you know, I'm gonna keep curling this wig. I love you, know. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and it's cool. And then a few days later, some shit plops in her lap, and I said, hold on, what you excited about this for? This ain't real any damn way, remember? So
look, I can play if we here.
Right. So I just appreciate our friendship. I appreciate the fact that you are so strong that you can share this.
Yeah.
Not just this team, but any and every listener that's been tuning in and that's going to tune in over the next couple of days.
Right.
You don't know who you're helping by telling this story. I appreciate you trusting us and our platform to keep it authentic as the best way we could. I didn't want to make it feel like we were trying to exploit your story or nothing. I was like, yo, these motherfuckers gotta hear what you've been through.
Yeah.
And know that you came out on the other side. And this is what I learned. And this is why I am this puzzle that you see in front of you. This is a big ass piece of it.
Yeah.
Because I think if we would have done this podcast 2 or 3 years before this happening, we would be talking to a different Kela.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'd be talking
I'm different.
to a totally different one.
One of my commented in Beverly, she said, yes, Dizzy, when you were talking about when you just felt like you couldn't do anything to help Kela, she was like, the helplessness is traumatic as well, just for you. And then she said, shout out to Kela for her bravery and for her resilience.
Yes.
Good job.
Yes. Look, yeah, I'm gonna tell you, y'all don't know how hard, and I don't even remember how hard and how long I hugged this girl when I finally was able to lay eyes on her. You don't know. And we ain't touchy-feely, gushy chicks. We not that. You know, but I was like, I feel everything. I got you. So with that said, appreciate all of y'all for tuning in to What You Got To Say. If you miss Kela's story, if you late in the game, go back and watch this from the beginning, because I guarantee you this is a story that you do not want to miss. So What You Got To Say, listed on 16 different platforms: YouTube, Facebook. Visit, follow, like, subscribe all our pages and all our things. We will see you on inauguration night day. We ain't figured out the time yet. Just look. We'll let y'all know. I will be there with my chucks and my pearls on. So will.
I'll put my pearls on too.
That's right. Y'all take care of yourselves. Please take care of each other. Please wear your mask. We're not over this yet. Let's just pray for the 20th. Just pray, because I don't know what the hell's gonna happen. But I definitely need to see
good thing.
I need to see it while it's happening. Whatever it is, I need to see it while it's happening.
Good thing.
So we love y'all. Thank y'all and pieces.
Bye.
You could have let that go out a little longer. Bye.
Bye.